Hey, hey, what's happening, Facebook? I know I'm coming at you kind of late today. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be here in the morning, but I'm coming to you from my backyard. It's peaceful. I like being outside. But I wanted to come to you and talk a little bit about sunscreen. We use it so that hopefully we're protecting our skin from being burned from the sun, although vitamin D is extremely important for the skin and for the body in general. And the only way you really can absorb vitamin D effectively is through the sun and through your skin. So blocking everything is not the best because we also don't want to be vitamin D deficient, but we want to protect ourselves from harmful rays. And I remember that for years and years, we would always put sunscreen on and not really think about it. But there are two different ways in which you can use sunscreen. And one is an actual mineral sunscreen, and the other is a chemical sunscreen. So with your mineral sunscreens, you'll have things like zinc oxide and titanium, stuff like that. Hey, Deanna, so good to see you, baby doll. So you have things like that. And then the chemical sunscreen has things like oxybenzone, half of them I can't even pronounce, avobenzone, octasalate, octacrylene, things like that. So anytime I feel like my body says, what? Like, I don't, like, if in my brain I'm thinking, what is this? Because I'm trying to read the word and I don't know what the word is. A lot of times my body is going to say the same thing. My liver, my kidneys, all of that, they're going to literally say the same thing. Hey, James, good to see you. So, if you can't eat it, this is another piece. I usually don't put it on my skin. So if I actually feel like I can't put it in my mouth and digest it, I don't want to put it on my skin because it absorbs just the same way into the bloodstream and can create and wreak havoc on our bodies. So think about that because it'll cross the skin into other tissue within our body. So one of the things that you need to know about sunscreen, especially the chemical sunscreens, is that they can become endocrine disruptors. And those disruptors are things that create havoc for our hormones. So a lot of times you'll have, they talk about low sperm count for kids that are using and for adults that are using sunscreen, issues with your thyroid. It can interfere and become something that makes you more estrogen positive in your body. So you want to be really careful about the sunscreen that you're slathering on, especially if you're going out to the pool and the beach often this summer. So for the Center for Disease Control, I'm going to read a little statistic here. It talks about the oxybenzone that I was telling you about is found in 96% of the population of sunscreens that are out there, and it does reduce sperm count and it can cause endometriosis in women. And so the EWC says 40% were listed as potentially contributing to skin cancer. So that's huge. And I'll talk next week more about how sunscreen can contribute to skin cancer and show you some of the links in the actual ingredients. So you're like, what do I do? What should I put on my skin? Well, there are a plethora of mineral sunscreens out there. A lot of times you can find them at places like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and online. Lots of my girlfriend Deanna Twofold uses one called, I think it's Blue Lizard. There's also Young Living makes one, which is a mineral sunscreen lotion that we've used. But you do need to reapply this one about 80 minutes in or so, making sure that you're kind of keeping those minerals on the body. And the same thing with other mineral sunscreens as well. The other thing I want you guys to be really mindful of, and we'll talk about it next week, are the sprays. And my girlfriend Nafisa, a long time ago, she's a wonderful pharmacist up in the Pennsylvania area. She owns her own pharmacy, so you guys that are up there, use her services because she delivers to your house, and it's called the Medicine Shop. But I will tell you that I remember one time said to me, like, don't spray your kids with that stuff. And at that point, I wasn't as enlightened as I am now. And I was like, oh, okay, And I mean, I did and I didn't listen. And then as I started doing more research throughout my life, of course, I have come to realize that that is something that I will not do. And even if you are around people who are spraying, literally try to cover your nose, your mouth, go somewhere else. It's convenient, but convenience is not always prudent, and it can actually cause major issues in your body long term. So remember, inhaling things, just like when I tell people about essential oils, when you diffuse, it gets into the bloodstream a lot faster because it doesn't have to pass through the digestive system. Same thing with those little small particles that are being sprayed in the air. So be careful with what you're inhaling and taking in, even if it's not being sprayed on you. So, hey, Brian. Nice to see you on. So just wanted to let you guys know that be careful with that sunscreen that you're putting on your body. Make sure it's a mineral sunscreen and not a chemical one. If you have questions, feel free to ask even right now. For those who are watching and those that are catching this on the replay, just type in your comments. But the one thing I want you guys to remember to do is to share the joy. If this has helped you in any way, and trust me, all of us use sunscreen, like majority of people do, right? So send it out because people need to know this. Thanks, Joey. I appreciate it. Hey, Reggie, it's good to see you. So like I said, if you have to go back and catch the replay, please watch this one. It's a pretty short and sweet one, but it really is one of those things that we're using over and over and over again. And I don't want the sunscreen that you're using to actually cause more damage in your body over time, especially if you're like me. I live in the sun with my kids this summer, so make sure you're using good stuff. And I appreciate Deanna Tufel for giving me a shout out for another one to try as well, because it's all about finding things that are effective but yet beneficial for our bodies. So remember, hit the share button. So share the joy, and remember to do what? All things with joy. All right. So if you want any of my past episodes, you can click on to doallthingswithjoy.com and you can check those out. It'll take you over to my YouTube channel and you can see everything that I've posted over the past year. All right. Peace and blessings. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys next Friday. Bye.